disk. What if I were to end it all here? Would your life fade? Oh, finally be better. I suddenly sit upright, gasping for air. My first instinct was to reach for my neck and check for whatever odd feeling I thought was there. This strange, tight feeling. Still, a sense of relief washes over me once realizing that it was closed. I fall backwards onto my pillow, a hand dropping over my eyes. I reach over to my dresser, checking the time just on my phone. 3 a.m. I let out a sigh. There was no way I could go back to sleep after just waking up. I get up out of bed and start dressing myself up to meet up with Inosuke for our first morning training. Once finished dressing, I exit my bedroom's bathroom with clean teeth. Since I had already told Neato of my plans of heading out early this morning, he had already given me permission to leave whenever I needed, as long as I was careful, especially with my creepy stalker situation. Now that I think about it, the unknown person was still fully too quiet. Are they planning something? I take a deep breath once as I exit my bedroom. Deep breaths. Maybe they've forgotten about me. I try to convince myself. Yeah, they must have gotten bored of scaring me since now I'm living with Neato. They know they can't do anything to me. Satisfied with the very self-convincing. I walked down the hallway of the second floor, but suddenly heard a loud thud coming from Neato's room. In an instant, I rushed into his room to find the door unlocked and Neato on face first on the ground, dead-like. Neato! I turned him over to his side to see him sleeping, knocked out completely with dark-eyed circles. Did he not sleep last night? He must have pulled an all-nighter. I looked around his room, then realized that it must have been the first time in Neato's room. It was messy, as much of the room was taken up by books, stacked of documents, and even large whiteboard stands. But my eyes fell on his chaotic-looking desk. Paperwork was all over the place, but what caught my eyes on the desk was Neato's laptop. It was opened on somebody's file. Curiosity draws me into wanting to sneak a peek on Neato's laptop, but I fight back the urge. I kneel down and give Neato some playful slaps on the cheek to wake him up, but there was no response. He remained asleep. I gave a deep breath before reaching over and grabbing Neato by his armpits and dragging him to his bed, but just even by lifting him up, which just sitting position wears me out as I huff and tried to breathe. Am I really out of shape? I muttered after minutes of dragging Neato, struggling to put him onto his bed. The task was complete. I wiped a bead of sweat off the side of my head as I tucked Neato into his covers. I'm amazed you even stayed asleep this whole time. I poked his cheek. He mutters in his sleep. You better not be fake sleeping. I poke his cheek once more, making sure if Neato was truly asleep. As expected, he was really knocked out. Sorry, drink. I turned to leave Neato to sleep peacefully when the sight of his laptop catches my attention once more. I bite my tongue in frustration, finally giving in. I quickly walk over to the laptop and placing my finger down on the mouse pad, I scroll up, reading the person's profile. I'm gonna butcher this. Name: Techiyumi Hana, Hanakaniki, I think. Gender, male. Age, 26. Occupations, unknown. Status, missing. Neato groans in his sleep. I quickly back away from the laptop before I could read anything about this Tamichi guy. I swiftly and quietly slip out of Neato's room before he could wake up. Since I had already told Neato of my plans with Inosuke this early yesterday, I left the house without telling him. But nothing that of Tamachi guy in the file on Neato's his laptop. Sorry, I forgot the top. Just who was that man? Something about him gave me the chills. I couldn't explain why, but it's eerily unsettling. Ha! I lean against one of the Kibetsu High's school fences to catch my breath. After exercising and running with Inosuke, I had to rush home and take a shower so I wouldn't be all sweaty to class. My whole body wanted to shut off, especially my legs. I think that on the first day of training, Inosuke made me do 50 push-ups, followed by 50 sit-ups, then finishing off with a mile run. If I don't get muscles like Inosuke, then I'm throwing hands. Drinking once more. I pat down my messy, wet hair before getting myself together. I slowly get up, but feel my legs wobbling dangerously. Hey, first year, a familiar, loud, flamboyant, belonging voice calls out. To my dismay, the voice belongs to a boy none other than Tengen, and I did not want to see him this early in the morning, especially knowing that he'll be going off about how awful I look right now. Tengen's eyes widened at the sight of me as he got closer. Geez, you look not it today, first year. Thank you. I eye up at him. Despite being sore all over, I try to walk past the sound hashira. But a happy-sounding girl comes running at me, startling me. You must be Yin! A black-haired girl with blue eyes exclaims. Without much time to process anything, I was pulled into a tight hug as the two of us swayed left and right. You're so cute! I like you! Can't breathe. You're going to suffocate her, idiot! An angry-sounding yellow-haired girl punches the back of the black-haired girl on the head, making your will. Tengen! Mock, you just hit me! The black-haired girl lightly releases, but still has her arms around me. Let Yin go! You're scaring her, idiot! The yellow-haired girl scolds. Just look at her! She's terrified of you! Please, you too. You're making an unnecessary big scene. A calm-sounding girl walks up to us. She had long, dark brown hair tied up in a high ponytail and bright purple eyes. I glance at these three girls surrounding me and all realize how beautiful they were. But the question that remains in my mind was, who were these girls? Why do you look so scared, first year? Tengen laughs. It's Yin. I tiredly remind him again. How many times am I going to have to drill it into that thick skull of yours? Tengen! Oh shit, wrong girl. Who cares? The black-haired girl wails, leaping off of me and onto him, clinging onto his right arm. Those two seem close. Were they dating? Don't sonder Tengen like that. The yellow-haired girl goes to pull the black-haired girl off of Tengen, who chuckles at the two. Sorry, Yin. We're ruining our first impression of us. The purple-eyed girl sighs. She turns to me and plasters a smile. I'm Hinatsuru, though. The girl with the black hair is Suma, and the other is Makio. We're good girls. Tengen's ripping my hair off. Most of the time. I giggle at the rowdy scene in front of me and Hinatsuru. Nice to meet you, Natsuru. Oh, Hinatsuru. Tengen says some interesting things about you. That's why we're so interested in meeting you. Hinatsuru giggles. though he sometimes over-exaggerates. Can't keep my name out of your mouth. Oh, your mouths, huh? Tengen appears in front of Hinatsuru, and with a confident smile, he somehow manages to free himself from Makio and Suma, who are now basically catfighting in the distance. You. I make a face at Tengen's confidence. Hinatsuru was just telling me that you told them about me, better or not do anything bad. Eh? Tengen places a hand on his chin, as if he's recalling what he's told these girls. Well, now you've met the first year. Isn't she the most dry-looking girl you've ever seen? My mouth falls, offended. Once again, Tengen is always coming after me for looking below his standards. I'll have you know, I am not drab-looking. But Tengen, Yin isn't like that. Hinatsuru purses her lips. Yin's very pretty to me. Not as pretty as my girls. Tengen crosses his arms, making me frown. At the corner of my eyes, Hinatsuru flushes a dark shade of pink. For your information, I'm the prettiest girl you'll ever meet, mister. I pointed a finger at the sound pillar's chest. Talk to me when there's the tiniest ounce of flashiness on you. Tengen lowers himself down to my height, mocking me. He pokes my forehead, making me furious. Hinatsuru giggles at the two of us arguing before placing her hands on my shoulders as she berates Tengen. You shouldn't be bullying someone as pretty as Yin, Tengen. The sound hashira lets out a notable gasp. You're siding with the first year? To think my own girlfriend would do that. God, I am getting real. I'm sorry. I was grateful for Hinatsuru siding with me, but my ears suddenly piqued in interest when Tengen said girlfriend. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Tengen lets out a laugh when seeing me trying to calculate his words. You said girlfriend. Hinatsuru is my girlfriend. But I recall the time when I first interacted with Tengen in the student council. He mentioned he had 3 girlfriends. My eyes suddenly widened when I realized who his girlfriends all were. Tengen, why are you splaining me? No, I'm not, you idiot. I let out, watching the girls rush to Tengen. Yep, we're all dating Tengen. Hinatsuru confirms. I look up beside her, seeing her smile warmly at the 3. Oops. I turned back to the scene of the large couple coming to the consensus about all of them. Pretty people always date pretty people. Break hour, but first I'm taking a sip because it's my break. Stay hydrated. I'm here. I make myself known as I enter the student council room. I peek into the room, but there's no one. Mitsuri, who usually happily greets me, instead I'm greeting with silence. I enter the creepy, quiet room and shut the door before hearing some faint murmurings from one of the hushers' desk. Hello? I loudly shout, but creepily muttering continues, sending chills to my spine. Curiously, I make my way over to one of the desks, only to realize it was Tengen's. Turns out that one murmuring creepy was also him. Signed for August 31st? This one next month? You idiot. I stomp to the back of his desk where Tengen was sitting and slapped his shoulder. He snaps out of his trance and looks around his surroundings before realizing that I was beside him. Huh? First year? You nearly gave me a heart attack. I thought you were a ghost or something in here because of your creepy muttering. Oh, sorry. He waves in a dismissive hand, clearly not sorry at all. I was in the zone when doing this stack of paperwork. Tengen looks up at me suddenly, making me jump at the sight of his pale, grimly face. His eyes were bloodshot with dark circles running under them. You look like you've seen a ghost. Oh shit, wrong person. You look like you've seen a ghost, first year. Yeah, I'm looking right at him. I squat down at a lower height to Tengen's eyes from his chair. I lean in to get a better look at his face. I didn't understand how Tengen ended up looking this dreadful from how normal I saw him this morning. Why do you suddenly look so bad? I was expected of Tengen to act all over dramatic from insulting him, but instead he lets out an airy chuckle. He falls back onto his seat, his eyes closed, making me worry. But he quickly reassures me. I'm fine. It's just when I'm focused on doing paperwork, it takes a lot out of me. I see. I quietly look onto Tengen's desk on the scattered papers. I suddenly think of the bag of snacks and drinks I had brought for the hashira. Digging into the bag, I pulled out a bright, colorful energy drink I had brought for Tengen. Here, drink this. You'll feel a little better at least. Oh. The sound, hashira slowly opens his eyes and takes a cold energy drink from my hands. He places it to his face, making him let out a revealed sigh. Oh, thanks. Tengen opens up the drink and takes a long sip before letting out a satisfied sigh. So, where are the others? I asked suddenly, remembering that the room was empty aside from the two of us. Don't tell me you're on break and they put you all at work like before. No, nah. Tengen looks at me, shaking his head, but he sounds like he was lying. You're doing busy stuff. That didn't need me. I slowly nod. Playing along with Tengen, it seemed that he didn't want me to see him as some slacker. A guy's gotta do something to uphold his face. Tengen lets out another tired sigh before sitting upright. He then takes off his large, pale gray headband and sets it on his desk as he takes off his ponytail, letting loose his white hair. You know what he looks like if you've seen the anime. My jaw drops in awe. My silence was more than enough to boost Tengen's already high ego as he lets out a knowing, What? I quickly look away from Tengen, already knowing what he's going to say. I know, he states, running a hand through his hair. You are flabbergasted because I'm so hot. No, sure. Tengen slowly nods. Well, take it all in, first year. I'm the hottest guy you'll ever see. My face burns in embarrassment. I wanted to yell to this flamboyant, obsessed man to shut up, but he wasn't wrong. I hated that Tengen was right about something. And I hated that he was rubbing it in my face. Tengen suddenly gets from his chair, towering me. I look up and find Tengen grinning at me before placing something heavy on my head. A cold metal feeling plate slips over my eye. I can't see. Geez, your head really that small? Shit. Okay, there we go. Sorry, my thing glitched. The sound of the Tengen shifting around behind me makes me put up guard. What the heck is he doing? I reach for the metal plate instead to take it off my eyes, but all of a sudden my vision is returned as Tengen lifts it up from my eyes, adjusting it once more. What are you doing? I was cut out by a startled yelp as I felt something tighten around my head. Tengen ties a small tight knot from behind my head, startling me. And done. Tengen lightly pats my head as I intently reach to touch whatever he did to it. And what did you do? I asked once more as my hand was feeling over. As my hands were feeling so over. I feel for what seemed to be the feeling of soft bandages. I touch the top front of my forehead as I run my fingers through the weird metal plate with what seemed to be large gemstones. I just made you all the more flashier, first year. Tengen sits top of his desk, arms crossed, whistling at the side of my head. That new look is flashy. Hearing this, Tengen must have done something bad with my hair. I quickly pulled out my phone and opened my camera to see my reflection. A wave of relief washes over me. Once realizing that the thing that Tengen did to my head was put on his headband. You can actually see it in this thing, and like in what is this thing called? The picture that I made, technically, it's on his forehead. Technically, you should all have seen it. It's like a noticeable feature, but anyways, who gives a crap? What do you think, first year? Like the new look? Tengen grins. I start posing and making faces with the new look. I like it. I look pretty. You look better than you did before. You look dreadfully awful then. Tengen shivers. Hey, I look pretty before too. But not better than now, right? Tengen crosses his arms knowingly. I roll my eyes. Whatever, mister. I grumble. You got one small head, first year. Tengen leans in, startling at my head all of a sudden. I flush at how close the hashira was as I back away a little. I had to tie double knots so the headband wouldn't slip off. Not anyone has a big head like you. I cross my arms. Only flashy people have big heads. I scoff. That's crazy thing I've heard. I'm the living proof of that claim. Tengen gestures to himself. I sigh, reaching to take off the headband to return it back to its rightful owner. However, Tengen stops me. Wait! Let me take a picture to show the hashira, my greatest creation. Tengen takes out his phone and points it to me. Say flamboyant. No, I look funny. Click. Nice timing, first year. Tengen bursts out in laughter, turning his phone to show a horrible picture of me. I see him reaching out towards the camera with my eyes half open. Delete that, delete that, delete that. I exclaim, reaching over for Tengen's phone, but he quickly moves his arm in the opposite direction. No, it's too priceless. He breaks into fits of laughter, glancing back at his phone. When they see this, if you show the hashira, I'll murder you. I lunge for Tengen's phone, but in a fast movement, the hashira lifts up his phone, raising it and holding it over his head, dangling it as if it was a piece of meat. I crank my neck. What are you? Some kind of machine? Sorry. That's 6 feet, asshole. If you want it, come and get it, first year. He grins, swaying his phone left and right above me. I angrily groan, knowing that if I didn't do anything soon, I'd be late for class. Taking off the headband, I try once more, lunging at Tengen, but in the midst of doing so, the student council doors open, coming slamming open with a cheerful Mitsuri beaming, "We're back!" I suddenly stop myself from lunging at Tengen and muster a smile at Mitsuri. "Welcome back!" I quickly throw a glare at Tengen, who's smiling to himself as he quickly turns his back to me. Gathering his things, I ignore him and make my way over to the other hashira, who comes pouring into the council room. "Here, I got some snacks and drinks for you all, but you all weren't here." I hand the bag to Shinobu, who thanks me as well hands out to everyone snacks and drinks before all leaving the class. I follow the hashira out of the council room when I suddenly notice one hashira not among the group. "Tengen?" I let out. Everyone looks around, but there is no sight of the sound hashira. My eyes widen. Guess Tengen already gone to class, but he's a good role model. Kojo chuckles. If we don't want to be late, we should all hurry. No one in their right mind would want to be on time to class, Obanai mutters. No one. I'll murder him. I rush off to my 4th class for Tengen, and leaving the hashira dumbfounded. "Please don't run in the halls," Kojo hollers, and she's not listening. "Maybe someone like her," Mitra mutters, walking after me. She's weird. Slowly the hashira begin departing to head to their first classes, clueless that ridiculous Tengen photo had taken of me, and I hope it stayed that way. Once I get my hands on him, he's dead.